By now, you've probably heard my Magic Wand story. It's a brand that's been part of my personal journey for more than 20 years. But no matter how many times I sing Magic Wand's praises, I'll never be able to fully capture the story of this incredible brand. Well, now journalist and author Kate Sloan just completed a limited audio series documenting the history and impact that Magic Wand has created over the last 56 years. It's called Making Magic. And the series chronicles Magic Wand's incredible brand story through interviews with nearly 40 experts, performers, business owners, educators, and fans. So I got a sneak preview of this series, and what I loved is that Kate weaves together snippets from all their interviews into this amazing story arc. She covers Magic Wand's journey from appliance store massager to its legendary influence on culture and sexual independence, and it's all just fascinating. The first episodes of Making Magic are available now at makingmagicseries.com or on all popular podcast platforms. Just search for Making Magic or visit makingmagicseries.com today. Thanks for listening to Sex with Emily. On today's show, I'm taking your calls and revealing some stats about everyone's favorite activity, sex. I even have someone on from my own life to talk about how I've directly helped them master a few techniques in the bedroom. So trust me when I say this is going to be a fun one. Topics include who's using lube and who's not, advice to help to turn your sexual guilt into sexual confidence, how to handle it when your parents don't like your partner, and the importance of the clitoris and why it should be wined, dined, and 69'd. All this and more. Thanks for listening.
Look into his eyes. They're the eyes of a man obsessed by sex. Eyes that mock our sacred institutions. Bedroom eyes, they call them in a bygone day.
Hey, Emily, you got a boyfriend? Because my man E here, he just got his heart broken. He thinks you're kind of cute.
A girl's got to have her standards. Oh, my.
Do women know about shrinkage?
Isn't it common knowledge?
What do you mean, like laundry? It shrinks?
Can we not talk about sex so much?
Are you kidding me?
Oh my God, it feels so good.
Being bad feels pretty good. But you know, Emily's not the kind of girl you just play with.
You're listening to Sex with Emily. We're talking about sex, relationships, and everything in between. For more information, go to sexwithemily.com. Because it's a party, we have so many great blogs and posts and videos and amazing things happening there. So you can have better sex and relationship, especially this month, because it's May. It's masturbation month. That's a real thing. So thank you for celebrating my 13th masturbation month since I've been doing Sex with Emily. I believe it's been around as long as Sex with Emily. Trying to remember. No, I think this is my 13th. So if you're just joining me, this is a big friggin' month. This is the month where it's all about you and your self-pleasure. And I know some of you are thinking, isn't every day masturbation day or every month all about masturbation? Well, I hope so. I hope for your case that you are masturbating all the time, but some of us need a little reminder, and we need to think about how masturbation can actually benefit our sex life, because it does, you guys. When you're in a relationship, it doesn't mean that masturbation stops. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't please yourself. And so we are also want to support you in upping your masturbation game this month by having a contest. And I want to know specifically, how has masturbation benefited your life, your sex life? What has it done for you? Like specifically, what did you learn because of masturbation? What tricks, what tips? How does it calm you down? How does it change your life? Email me feedback at sexwithemily.com by June 7th to enter, and we'll give you some super sexy prizes. And although we love detail, we're all about storytelling and great details here. Let's just say this. Keep your submissions on the shorter side. If you think it's too long, it probably is. Also, you can find me on social media. It's at Sex with Emily across the board. I love hearing from you. I love when you message me. I don't love when you send dick pics, because if you do, I block you, so you don't want to do that. All right, sound like a plan? Now let's move into some sex in the news, and I'm going to introduce my very special guest. My guest is Ben Morrison. He is a comedian and an actor. And what else do you do? He makes me laugh a lot.
I write.
He writes.
I try to elicit your tiniest, cutest little laugh.
He does make me laugh a lot. I thought we laugh together. You should be on the show with me.
Aww.
And talk to me about... Do you think you're prepared to talk about anything?
Yes.
Sex, relationships, because I've got some things to throw at you here.
Literally anything. And I'm honored to be here during Jerk Off Month. As a practitioner of jerking off, I feel that this is the only month I can really be me. Just approach people on the street, give them a high five.
How has masturbation helped your life? helped your sex life?
I think it's the central staple of my my existence. I feel it's like checking.
That's why I don't get to see you nearly
checking
enough.
in with God. Yeah. I feel like it's very important, and I feel as far as sex goes, masturbation for me almost feels like practice. You know, I just think to myself, she's gonna get some of this later.
Really?
Let's just warm it up for her.
Okay, you think that. You're like, this is not for me, this is for, or how lucky she is.
Yes.
Because you love your penis.
When I am done, I send out rays of sexual energy to whatever partner
hoping
I'm
it
going
lands
to think. You,
somewhere.
for example, I psychically blast out sexual
Semen.
intent.
Sexual intent.
Which I call semen.
Right. What do you think about women and masturbation? How often do you think women masturbate?
I don't really know, actually, because whenever I've asked partners what their masturbation habits are, the answers have always really varied. I mean, some girls have, they're every day, and some are like, I don't really do that at all. I think that the answer is a lot more consistent for men as far as frequency goes.
Right, like every day.
Yeah, I mean,
often, right.
How often do I go to bed?
Right.
And I think...
you do, right. You masturbate for bed?
Not every time. No.
Often.
No.
Right.
Enough, I think masturbation for couples is incredibly important because that is literally the best way to figure out what your lover actually wants.
Mutual masturbation.
Every couple should literally they should just watch their partner for like half an hour in detail because just take notes, man. That's your cheat sheet.
Right. That's how you learn. You're like, this is how she touches herself, he, she, whatever they do. Yeah.
I play video games, man. That's the Konami code. That's the up, down, down, left, your nerds will get it. But like that's the way to get 30 lives. Just watch what she's doing. That's what she wants.
Oh, okay. Right. Good. That's so true. I like it. Well, here's the thing about Masturbation Month, and I hate saying, like, I don't want to stereotype here, but I typically think this month has a lot to do with, helps women a lot, because I think that I don't have to remind men to masturbate as much as I do women, because it is true that we don't have sex as much as top of mind as much as men. We're not like, oh, it's there, it's hard, it's not, it make me sleep. We just kind of think, oh, it's more of a process, or we think that it is, and we're not kind of remind ourselves. But I feel like the thing about masturbation is, for women especially, the more we do it, the more we masturbate, and we get in that routine, the more we want to, kind of like working out. I can never think of another better analogy that the more you do it, the more you want it. And the other thing about masturbation, especially for women, is that's how we figure it all out. I mean, I used to think that it was my partner's job to figure out my body, and I realized through very intensive and long-running masturbation sessions that I've learned a lot about my body. And I've surprised myself. I used to think that I don't know that if you knew this about me, Ben, but I'd never had a internal orgasm until I started my podcast. I assumed that I could only have a clitoral orgasm because that's all I ever experienced. And I thought that something was wrong with me, or that like...
Up until 13 or 14-ish years ago, you'd never come close to...
I just thought I couldn't.
G-spot simulation, squirting, nothing?
Nope.
Really? It was all just... Top of the bean.
Yeah, top of the bean. Top of the bean.
Top of the bean to you, mate.
Exactly.
Flick of the bean.
That's what it was.
Fancy a flick of the bean, mate.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. So I'm just telling that people, a lot of women, men, we all just assume that the way we can orgasm is sort of set and that it can never change. And I'm here to tell you that through exploration,
the thing is,
time spent, you can have orgasms.
The thing
that
about
will blow your mind.
Sexual pleasure is you need to understand there are so many holes on a human's body,
right?
And to think that all the action happens in one little spot on top of one of the holes is ridiculous. Especially when if you stick shit in the holes, it feels different. All three of them feel good in a different way,
right?
You know?
Yeah.
You can mix
play with
and
all
match.
the holes with consent.
You got to use your holes.
Use your holes wisely.
Use your holes.
Okay, so I'm glad that you're here, though, Ben, because I want you to help me break down some important statistics that have just came out. Skin Condoms Sex Survey reveals. So this is the realities of millennial sex, okay? Quick to judge. While respondents claim they don't think of women or men differently for having multiple sexual partners, 54% said they perceive women negatively for having multiple sexual partners. Women are especially hard on each other, with 61% of females looking poorly at women. Okay, so this is like this age-old thing that people say that women are harder on other women. Women judge women more than men do. What do you think about that? Well, first of all, Why are people so judgy and people having multiple sex partners? Like, it's such a double standard.
Well, first question, is this a survey of millennials?
Yes.
So the results are millennial skewed.
They're millennial skewed, right? Which is what? People who are up to the age of 36 right now? 22 to 36.
22 to 36. So we have to keep in mind when talking about these statistics that these are a generation that have grown up with
being all judgy.
Social networking.
True.
And the literal accumulation of like markers being a big part of their existence. So I think maybe they'd say they're more judgy than they actually were. I think for women there might be a jealousy factor of the fact that they are able to have multiple partners because that represents a freedom that men seemingly have. And I think it's like you said, what isn't different about this generationally is that men are seen as conquerors and women are seen as sluts when they have multiple partners.
Right.
I do think that's shifting. I mean, that's going to take a long time to fully equalize.
I do think it is shifting. I think like in the moment, like they're going to say one thing, but the interesting part is there's contradictions in this survey because it says most people, and that's 67%, said they don't care about someone's sex number.
Right.
So they don't care, but they're
that
going to judge you.
Gender-based, how does that work?
Yeah,
though?
men and
67%.
women, like total, right? Most people, so 67% total of men and women say they really don't care about the number.
But women are harder on women.
Women are harder
than
on
men
women.
are.
I just really think, if anything, now is the time for women just to get behind women, support women.
Yeah, I found on a whole, and I want to phrase this gently, that women sometimes aren't really the biggest fan of women. You know what I'm saying? Like, women who have small social groups, they're good. But a lot of times women can be very nasty to other women when it comes to sociological ideas. Like, I think they can be. I mean, I think what I'm saying is backed up by that statistic, is that I think women are very aggressive towards other women when they decide they want to be. In a way that men aren't.
Right.
Or in a different way.
It sometimes has to do with like biology. Like women
Yeah.
are the ones who are like, we have to find a mate, and we see other women as competitive to us, as threatening.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of like you said, biologic breakdown going into that. Whereas men are we're not stupid enough to really know the intricacies.
I mean, this is how I feel, but I feel like I've just always nixed women. Like the second I find a toxic woman, and if I find a woman who's talking about other women, I automatically decide that's not someone that I want to be close to. And I think that's the way to kind of end it. To me, it is. It's very uncomfortable. Women like, that bitch, she's da.
Yeah, never doubt the power of unfollow and block. Dude.
Unfollow
you can take
and
someone
block.
out of your existence.
I'm all about exactly. That's another easy thing too.
Oh yeah,
cut
just
them.
wield the block like a weapon, man.
Right. Don't mess up the show. I might block you out. The other thing, smart is sexy. More respondents think that having a sense of humor, being smart, and good looks are sexy attributes.
Well,
At least right? Sense of humor. Funny. For men, being good looking is the sexiest attribute. Shock. Nothing's changed here. Followed by sense of humor, being fun and honest. For females, sense of humor, number one, being smart, and confidence are sexy.
This is
not changed.
This is
Do you wanna
the
know what it
no
has
shit survey.
Yeah. No. Do you want to hear it? It kind of is. But let me tell you this one part that is not no shit. That's shocking.
What?
Here's a stat that I'm saving for the end. That's baffling. Makes zero sense to me. There's been a 17% decline in the neck being chosen as an arousing body part. It went from 31% to 14%.
Yeah.
Why would the neck all of a sudden in 1 year not be sexy anymore?
Because vampire movies aren't cool anymore, dude. Twilight had its day in the sun. That was so 10 years ago.
Do you think? But it's in the year. I was thinking vampires too, or like something. Like why? Why is that? And I love the neck is like one of the most underrated erogenous zones. Like kissing the neck and being around the neck, and the neck is like sexy.
Yeah.
That was a shock. That was a shock. That part we had to take a day off work here trying to figure out why the hell that happened. Poor neck.
That no one likes the neck anymore?
Yeah, I guess so.
Oh.
Here's the final thing. This is confusing to me as well. 46% of people dating multiple people always use lube, but 26% of people in committed relationships they use lube most of the time. Only 26%.
Yeah.
I don't understand why people don't use lube just all the time. So it just baffles me that
Well, I think
there's not a lube on every nightstand yet.
You got me into the Joe.
Joe's awesome. Joe. Yeah. Do you
Stuff's
like it?
great.
Do you use it for masturbation?
No, I don't. I've always just been a dry guy.
But why though? But when
Clean
you
up.
think
It's all clean up.
But you already are cleaning up anyway.
I know, but when it's the difference between having to wipe down one small area on my tummy versus
Your tummy.
my little tummy. I've got to wipe my unborn
But lube, you could.
off my stomach, off my tummy.
But you can wipe off right. This way you don't.
But if I get my cock all lubey, I'm gonna have to take a shower.
But you could still. But baby wipes can wipe off the lube too.
Yeah, the thing
And
is though,
smoother.
if I'm slathering my dick in something, I'm gonna want to feel like I'm getting it off effectively, and I just don't think baby wipes really do the job.
Okay,
You
we
know
have
what
other
I'm
things
saying?
for you. You can visit the sex toy closet before you leave.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I think.
What, the lube statistic? I think that makes sense, right? Like if you're sleeping with multiple people, you're probably invested enough in sex that, you know.
You're like, I got my artillery here.
It's gonna be a hot night.
Yeah, I guess so.
I got the lube. I got the rubbers. My Apple Music chill playlist.
Do you have a playlist for sex?
No.
No, you don't.
No. Okay. I have a really good hip hop playlist that I sent you that you still
do.
have never listened to.
I have listened to it.
Have you?
I do. I have.
Okay, cool.
I think. No, you sent me the rock one. I listened to that.
I sent you the
I
other
didn't
one.
get it.
Rhyming words. I
Oh,
swear
is
to
that
God,
what
it's in
called?
your phone.
I got it in my phone.
Yes.
I'm having phone problems.
Hi, this is Ben Morrison. I'm here interviewing Dr. Emily Morris, and we are really going to get into the heart of what it's like to have sex with Emily. The number one most requested question on my podcast, Interviewing Emily.
Ben and I have had sex. We had
Yes,
sex.
we have.
Yes.
She really has all the lube that you think she has. Like, your listeners are probably like, per nightstand, you probably pick it up, and it's just nothing but lube. And I'm here to say it really is. It's like a ball pit made of lube.
It is. There's like hundreds of bottles of lube.
And she's given me a bunch of like little lubes, and I love them, but I don't have like a container to keep them upright, and like they're small, so they'll turn over in the night, and then I'll go to get like some baby wipes because I've just, I need to clean up the children I'm never gonna have, and then I put my hand in the drawer because it's right next to my bed, and I'm reaching for baby wipes, and it's like I pull it out and it's covered in Joe, which is phenomenal lube. But then I'm like, well, this is a predicament because
you have to close the
my hand is gooey, and I want to clean up something else that's gooey, and I just need wipes.
I have wipes though too. By the way,
you do. You have a lot of wipes. All wipes are not created equal though, and this is a good tip. This is because I'm a big proponent of baby wipes. If you're gonna get wipes for masturbation, go to the diaper aisle because those are actual wipes to clean up with. Those are not flushable wipes, right? Okay, there are two types of baby wipes. The ones that are flushable.
People are obsessed with baby wipes.
Baby wipes are absolute. They're incredible. They're incredible.
Bad for the environment,
especially for masturbation. Nothing's better at wiping up babies. I'll tell you that much right now. So if you're going to get wipes for masturbation, you don't want to get the flushable kind, right? They're a totally different fabric texture, okay? Those you get next to toilet paper. Those are the flushable ones. Keep those in the bathroom. For your own personal care, go to the diaper aisle and get the baby wipes that are not flushable. They're a much better texture. I prefer Pampers brand.
Okay.
I was a Huggies man for a while.
I know you just became Pampers, right? You told me about this. You were so excited.
It's more of a fabric-y type texture. I feel they're of a higher quality.
Good.
If you will.
Have you learned anything about sex from me since we've been having sex?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I've learned a lot about sex from you. I think the biggest thing I've learned from you, that the biggest thing I can directly point to you having helped reprogram in my mind is clitoral stimulation. Because previous to being with you, I had my move. It was a more aggressive type thing where you put your mouth over the clitoris and you kind of flick it.
That was a move?
Not a move necessarily, but that's what I thought. Stop it. I am opening up to you, goddammit. Oh. And you didn't like that because you prefer much gentler.
Well,
more so
initially,
than
I don't want like a
well, I'm not treating
suction
it like
lawnmower.
It's not like a Rocky movie. I'm like hitting the speed bag, but
okay.
But I didn't realize how much more gentle I needed to be when it came time for.
So in all the other clitoris that you've run into in your life,
clitori?
Clitori.
A pack of wild clitori. A pack of wild clitori bound upon the plain.
You've never. So you thought. So what I've taught you is that. But let me tell you something, Ben. Is that's my clitoris. So we have a few other clitorises in the room, and I don't know that they would want that. So I've taught you that about myself,
fellas. You just gotta lick it like an ice cream cone.
But I can guarantee you that if that was your move that you did.
Stop calling it a move. That makes it sound like
just more aggressive with the clitoris. Most clitorises want to be like cuddled and like swooned and
Taken to dinner.
taken it legit. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, your clit got movie pass, so that's nice. We
Yeah, but
can
I never
go-
use it. I think if we started thinking about the clitoris as something that does need to be wined and dined
Oh, yeah.
and 69'd, then that the world would be a much happier place.
Yeah,
But
well,
should I tell
maybe
you
your
about the clitoris
clit
that's
could
going
order-
softer on the clitoris? If there's other things to do. So
Oh,
tell me
yeah.
about the clitoris before me.
Oh, when I look at the clitori of my past, a tear comes to my eye. Many clitori
Yes, I'm sure.
have I seen with my fly. Such a complex guy. Now, the thing is, I've seen a lot of different vaginas in my day, and the actual makeup of the vagina, wildly different.
Vulva.
You know, it's like a snowflake made of skin.
Right.
There are no two are the
The
same.
vulva is the exterior
You know?
part of the
Yeah,
vagina.
you can
So the-
identify people from their fingerprints and their vagina prints.
Right.
Like
They're
it's a
right.
match. But easily the most consistent thing from woman to woman to woman is the clit, you know? And I think that's why you've opened my eyes, to answer your question, to the benefit that men can get as a lover from learning everything they need to know about that little motherfucker, because that's the heart of the engine, you know what I'm saying? And then once you develop an understanding, and it really is based on how your lover likes it, because like I said, I've been with people that like their clitoral stimulation to be more aggressive. Once you figure out how your partner's clit works, how it likes to be introduced, you know, does your clit like to do I knock on the door, or do I just stay in the car and honk and the clit comes out? Like, it's,
so many different ways.
courting the clit is a very unique process from lover to lover.
True.
And I think as a lover, if you can learn how your woman's clit likes to go out for a date, then the sex coming after that is going to be phenomenal.
Yeah, it takes some time.
Yeah, because if you can prep the clit, that tells the whole vagina.
I feel like you're
Oh, this
just
is
getting
happening.
this like today. This is amazing.
Oh yeah, no, this is a revelation I've been saved for when I'm finally on your podcast, and I have notes, many binders, many.
Okay, cool. What else do I want to ask you?
What have I taught you about sex? Looks like we got to take some calls.
Okay, we're gonna take a quick break. Shout out to our sponsors. I love them, and I love you all for listening. We'll be right back. We had an oral sex miscommunication.
Yes, we
I'm just
did.
going to bring this up.
Yes,
So, okay.
we
So,
did.
but we did.
because
We did.
because when we first started doing it, I whipped out my air quotes move, and you don't. In the moment, your sex notes are not really like, "Oh, baby."
I like kick.
What
I
if you did this? No,
I, like,
it's
drop kicked
it's
your head
you're
away from my
no,
pussy or something.
Stop. No, stop it.
I didn't say no, stop it. I would never say that. I think I got up and went to get some water.
And then didn't come back.
No.
Who are you texting? I thought I was going down. I'm sorry I did the move.
It wasn't even a move. It was so clearly a move though, because it was like this thing
I
that
don't
you're
make
like,
that
I'm gonna
noise.
be. You did. You're
No,
like,
I don't.
No, you did. You're like, you were trying to be a vibrator, which I thought was sweet.
That's what I call the
'Cause you're
Billy
probably
Bob
like,
Thornton from Sling Blade. That's what chicks want when I go down. I'm like,
if I wanted my vibrator, I would have gone to my other nightstand. One is filled with lube. One is filled with 100 sex toys.
I know.
I would have gone to that one.
vibrators and lube. That's what you find at Dr. Emily's house. But this has been this has been a progression. You know,
It is.
It's been a progression to understand how someone's body works, and frankly, we could have been better about communicating.
Okay, where can people find you?
At Ben the Morrison.
He's funny. Go find him on the interwebs. Thanks,
Find
Ben.
me on the interwebs.
Okay, now we're going to get on to your calls, and I love answering your questions. It's why I exist. Why am I here on the planet? If you have a question you want me to answer on the show, text Ask Emily, all one word, to 797979. Fill out the short form, or you can go to my website, sexwithemily.com, click on the Ask Emily tab. And if you want to be called, which I love, it's simple. Just enter yes on the would you like to be called question. And please include your name, your age, where you live, and how you listen to the show. Thanks. Okay, we have Ellen. She's 24 from Seattle, and she wants some book recommendations for a Catholic guilt girl. Hi, Ellen. I'm so glad you called in. How can I help you today? Tell me what's going
Emily.
on. Hi.
Hi. Well, thank you for answering my question. Well, I want maybe some book recommendations about how to be more open and comfortable with my sexuality, because I grew up with Catholic guilt and just seeing sex like as a bad thing and just not being comfortable with my body and being able to just not overthink and let go when having being with another guy, even with with dating and stuff like that. And I want to I don't really date, so I want to go into it and be more open, just comfortable being myself and like not overthinking, not feeling pressure to do anything, because I feel like ever since I was very young, I felt like a lot of pressure of having to have sex with a guy, or if not, they won't like me, or stuff like that.
Got it. So you've had sex with people you don't want to, you just felt the pressure about it.
Yeah. It all, since I was young, since they were all older, I felt pressure of having to have sex with them because they already had sex, and it's just something I had to do. So since I was young, it became a thing of not doing it for myself, not because I deserve pleasure or I want pleasure. It was always to give them.
Okay, I get it. And that's how a lot, right. And I get it. And you know what? This is such a good call, Ellen, because I know that this call and your story is going to help so many of my listeners, because no matter what kind of environment we're brought up in, I think that women are socialized to believe that we have to have sex to please men, and it's about their pleasure and not our own pleasure. So, and then as a result, we don't really take the time to figure out what makes us feel good. And then you get all the guilt on top of it. It can be really challenging for women. So a few things I want to say is, you asked for a book, and the book that I think that would be great for you is Sex for One by Betty Dodson. It's called The Joy of Self-Loving, and it came out in 1996. And to this day, I think it's one of the best books on female pleasure and masturbation that really talks about shame and guilt and just how to learn to love your body in a way that is just really healthy and that will make you feel good and kind of move past a lot of the shame that you have. So I would start with that one. I also think that just shame in general, because you mentioned shame. I love everything that Brene Brown's written about shame and vulnerability. If you like to read, she wrote a book called Braving the Wilderness, The Quest for True Belonging and the Courage to Stand Alone. Have you heard of Brene Brown? It's Brene Brown. Those are two books.
I have not.
Okay, so she just writes a great book about shame and the role it plays, and she writes about vulnerability and confidence. So those are two great books, but especially if we're talking about sex, I would say Sex for One is a good place to start. But if you feel like a lot of it is also not just the physical stuff, but psychological, you can't get over this guilt, you're letting your parents down, you're letting the church down, you're not, this also, therapy. I'm a huge fan of therapy for this stuff. If you find that you just cannot get yourself to do any of these things, it doesn't feel right to touch yourself, or it doesn't feel right to have sex because of these messages, it can be helpful just to talk to someone about it, so you can really kind of untangle where you came from, so you can get to where you want to go with some healthier messages.
Yeah, totally. I've actually recently started therapy, and I think that it's helped a lot.
Oh, good.
And just even with therapy, along with also just exercising more and becoming more comfortable with my body.
Yes, honey,
and
you're doing
that
it.
is just gaining that confidence and just feeling more sexy and yes, I feel like I'm going to get there.
Okay, no, I do too. See, I would say that too, because for women, we have so much body shame, but it's true. When you exercise and you're healthy, it matters how you treat your body, the kind of food you eat. Living a healthy lifestyle will absolutely help with that self-confidence, that sexual confidence, because when you feel comfortable in your body and you're taking care of yourself and you're in therapy talking about this, I think you're doing it. I think it's great. And you'll get there. And you're 24 years old. So this is a process. And what I love is that you already know this about yourself. There's women who spend a lifetime, right? And they're like, oh, I never felt good about it. So you're taking it right now. You're taking care of it. You're prioritizing yourself and your pleasure. And I love that. You're on the right track.
You.
You're so welcome. Thank you, Ellen. Keep going with it. It doesn't just go away in a day, but it's a process. Okay, you're so welcome. Bye, Ellen. Thanks for calling.
Bye-bye.
Bye. God, I love this question, you guys. I think that so many of us can relate to having some kind of challenges around body image, around trauma, around shame. I mean, anything that's holding us back from having the very best sex of our lives. And a lot of it has to do with our thoughts and our feelings about ourselves and about what we're doing. And so I love that trifecta there of exercise, being healthy, talk therapy, and, reading as much as you can, educating yourself. I think these are all ways to move past it, because I'm telling you, focusing on your sexual pleasure and your sexual health is just as important as focusing on exercise, spirituality, your business, your job. This is just as important. So I love that Ellen is demonstrating that for all of us. We have Jay, 39 from Massachusetts, and he wants to know what we can do to make sex a better and longer experience for the both of us. Hey, Jay, thanks for calling in. Tell me what's going on.
So the wife and I are struggling a little bit with oral on her end, and she's very sensitive to it, and we're trying to figure out how to make it last longer so she can... we can enjoy it longer, I should say.
How to make oral sex last longer?
Yes, on her side, yes.
Okay. So does she enjoy it, but it just gets to be too sensitive, or she doesn't?
Yep, exactly. So it minute or two in, she's just overstimulated, too sensitive to even touch.
Okay. Yeah, that happens for some women. I understand that. Okay. So paint the whole picture to me, and then we'll break it down. Oh, is that your main question then about her clitoris? Because we can start there, that for a lot of women, They are really sensitive. And so it just means that it helps to not go right for the clitoris, just to play with her labia, inner labia, pubic mound, everything around the clitoris. Does that turn around if you kind of work around it?
We've been working that, but even that, we get to a point in that where it's still, the entire area basically gets overstimulated, I'd say.
And is she able to have multiple orgasms during intercourse?
Yes, with penetration, yes.
Okay, so there is a thing that there's some women that their clitoris is way too sensitive, so that's a challenge. But women who have way too sensitive clitorises often have multiple orgasms, which many women can't have. So it's kind of like a side effect. A really good one, though. That's a common scenario I've heard about. So she just might have a really sensitive clitoris that just isn't comfortable to oral sex. So there might not be any getting past it, but it's great that she has multiple orgasms. So I would say how fun for you guys that you can kind of work on different positions and different ways to have sex. They just don't include oral.
Okay, I think we've found the answer.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, yeah. All right. So that's a condition. And I don't think you're going to get around it, but just keep up in that, having fun with some positions.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. You're so welcome. Bye, Jay. Thanks for calling.
Bye.
Bye. So yeah, you guys, that's the thing. If you've been struggling with a sensitive clitoris, there's a good chance that maybe you're having multiple orgasms, which a lot of women would kill for. So I think just work on different positions and different ways to achieve those orgasms and just lay off the oral sex. Okay, we have Sylvie. She's 26 from Baltimore, and she says her parents do not like my boyfriend. Sylvie, thanks for calling. Tell me what's going on.
Hi, Emily.
Hi.
So my parents don't really like my boyfriend because of several reasons. The main reason why I wanted to get your insight was about my parents' disapproval of me having any sex life at all. And they have not ever talked to me about sex as a child. And I mean, now as a full adult, they still don't believe that I should be having some sort of sexual encounter with anybody until I get married. And they have been really, really clear and very, very severe with their words about how I should not be at all doing such a thing. But at the same time, I don't think I have the same value as them when it
sounds
comes
like
to,
you don't.
Marriage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I feel like having sex is part of having a relationship. And,
it is, honey. You're 26 years old. You're 26 years old, and you live with your parents? Or you see them often?
Yeah, I do live with my parents. Yeah.
Okay.
They come and go because they have another house in a different country. So they come here to check up on me and my brother, but then they're also very apprehensive about leaving because I'm in a relationship and worry about me having sex in the house.
Right.
So,
God. Yeah. I mean, I think this is like a, obviously like a cultural thing. I mean, you know that it's important to have sex. They never talk to you about sex. Most people's parents don't talk to them about sex. But when you have an extra layer of it, like it's a cult, sounds like it's part of your culture or religion, that it's like not okay. And so that's really hard because it sounds like you're also really close with your parents and you don't want to disappoint them. Letting them know that you're a grown woman and you're going to make your own choices is important, but it sounds like they might not be able to hear that. Plus, you're still living in their house, so they feel like they can still control what you're doing. I just don't know, like if there's. I mean, do you truly believe that you're not doing anything wrong? Like you're making these decisions that, like when you're having sex with your boyfriend, are you having good sex? Are you having satisfying sex?
Yeah, I enjoy having sex with my boyfriend. And it's not like I'm having unprotected sex I'm very responsible about my actions.
Right.
So it's like when they come at me and say like, oh, you don't even have a job because I'm a student. And, what if you get pregnant? And it's like, I don't. Know what you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you have two choices. I mean, really, it's like you just don't engage them. Like you can say, like, yeah, Mom, I hear you. And you're just like, okay, I hear you. Yeah, I'm taking necessary precautions, and you don't engage, right? Because they're not going to change. You're not going to change your parents' mind. Their parents said the same things to them. And it's like literally like there's nothing you're going to say like, you know what, honey, Sylvie, you're right. Start having sex. So you either just don't engage for now because you have to live under their roof, or you make the decision that you can figure out how to get a job and move out and start, paying your own way, and which will happen eventually. But until that happens, it sounds like you don't really have a choice other than just to like not engage them in this conversation. Yeah. And just to hopefully not take it in that you're doing something wrong and that you're guilty and that you're violating their beliefs, because it's not rational for the life that you're in. Maybe it worked for their life to wait till they got married and to only have sex for procreation. But, who knows what I'm not sure where they're coming from, but I just knowing that, you're not going to change them. And that's a big part of life as we get older. We like to blame our parents for a lot of things. And there's a part where you realize, and a lot of times in our 20s, we accept our parents for who they are, for loving us and for doing the best they can with whatever tools they came to the table with. Like their parents treated them the same way. So you love them, you accept them, you thank them for their feedback, and you live your own life. And I don't like that you have to live right now hiding, like living a secret life from them, especially because you see them all the time. So your other choice is to be like, no, I'm doing it. You guys are wrong. And, but it doesn't sound like that's going to end well for you.
Yeah, because they're pretty headstrong about what they believe in. So
right.
I just have to endure through and hope for me to move out soon.
Yeah, I really hope you can move out soon. And I hope also that you're not taking any of this shame on when you're having sex. Because if you are, there are some tools, therapy. Sometimes we don't realize it. We don't even realize that we're hearing these messages from our parents. But you can kind of undo a lot of that by going to therapy, talking to people, reading some books about about shame and sex that might be able to help you. But I don't have any solutions for you other than to unless you think your parents are open to listening, it sounds like they're not. So,
yeah.
I hope that's helpful. But I don't think there's not like a magic thing to say. I know parents like yours. I've heard this story many times. So, yeah. What do you think about that? Does that answer your question?
Yeah, thank you so much for your insight, Emily.
Yeah, you're so welcome, honey. But I just don't want you to take it in with you and still enjoy sex with your boyfriend, and you're not doing anything wrong. And if you ever feel up to it, you can confront them, but just know that it's going to be a long road. So you'll do it when you're ready. Maybe when you move out and you don't have to rely on them.
Yeah, exactly. So I just have to wait it out and just. I
think you do.
Push through. Yeah.
Yeah, and exactly. And again, just don't engage them. You know how to handle your parents, so. Just say, okay, Mom.
Right.
I mean, it sounds disingenuous, but that's what you got to do. So to live in peace with them and with your life for now. Just for now.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Thank you, Sylvie.
All right, thank you so much,
Thanks for calling. Have a great night. Bye, Sylvie.
Oh, you too. Bye-bye.
You guys, here's the thing about family. Well, if you're still living under their roof and they're paying the rent, you kind of got to do what they say. And you also have to realize that, like with religion and culture and all this stuff, like it's going to be hard to change our parents' mind. The other thing is I didn't have a chance to ask Sylvie how long she's living under her parents' roof. Hopefully she won't be there much longer, because also if you have to endure something for another, few years or 5 years she's still going to be living with them, that could be a challenge. So Sylvia, I would say to you that it's probably time to maybe start looking for a job, becoming independent so you can start to live the life that you want to live. But sometimes we just can't get our parents to get over to our side. And the more you accept your parents for who they are, know that they love you and they're doing the best they can, the much easier life is going to be. It took me a long time to learn that lesson. And once I stopped trying to change my parents and accept things from them that they cannot give me, life was a lot better. Hope you enjoyed the show. Thank you to my amazing listeners. I love you all. And thanks to my amazing team, Ken, Jenny, and volunteer Sarah, producer Jamie, and Michael. Was it good for you? Email me, feedback@sexwithemily.com.